In this video, we will explore the 6 signs of weak people based on Buddha's teachings. By understanding these signs, we can gain insight into our own lives and the lives of those around us. Recognizing these signs can help us cultivate inner strength and improve our overall well-being. By staying strong and watching till the end, you will gain valuable knowledge that can positively impact your relationships, personal growth, and emotional resilience. So, let's dive in and discover how we can empower ourselves and others by recognizing and addressing these signs of weakness. Sign 1. Attachment to material possessions. One of the signs of weakness according to Buddha's teachings is an excessive attachment to material possessions. This refers to the tendency to place too much importance on material things, believing that they define our worth and happiness. When we become overly attached to material possessions, we become reliant on them for our sense of security and contentment. This attachment can lead to suffering and prevent us from experiencing true inner peace. To understand this concept better, let's consider an example. Imagine a person named John who is deeply attached to his luxurious car. He believes that owning an expensive car is a symbol of success and status. John's happiness and self-esteem are directly tied to this possession, and he constantly seeks validation from others based on his car. Now John encounters a financial setback and is forced to sell his car. This loss triggers immense distress and a sense of identity crisis for him. He feels a deep void and believes that without his car, he is no longer worthy of admiration or respect. John's attachment to material possessions has made him vulnerable to suffering, as his happiness was contingent on external factors. In this scenario, we can see that John's attachment to his car has hindered his emotional well-being. His self-worth became dependent on a material possession, leading to a fragile sense of identity. This attachment prevented him from finding happiness within himself and accepting the impermanence of material things. The impact of this sign of weakness extends beyond John's personal life. His attachment to material possessions affects his relationships as well. He may prioritize his possessions over spending quality time with loved ones. Additionally, he may seek companionship based on materialistic criteria rather than genuine connection, leading to shallow and unfulfilling relationships. By understanding this sign of weakness, we can reflect on our own attachments to material possessions. Do we find our happiness solely in acquiring and owning things? Are we overly concerned with what others think of our material possessions? Recognizing these tendencies allows us to take steps towards reducing our attachment and finding deeper sources of fulfillment. Sign number 2. Inability to control emotions. One of the signs of weak people, as taught by Buddha, is the inability to control one's emotions. This refers to the tendency to be easily overwhelmed or carried away by our feelings, leading to irrational thoughts and impulsive actions. When we lack emotional control, we become vulnerable to external influences and are unable to make wise decisions based on reason and logic. Let's explore this sign in more detail with an example. Imagine a scenario where you are driving home after a long day at work. Suddenly, someone cuts you off in traffic, causing you to slam on the brakes and narrowly avoid an accident. In this situation, a person with emotional control would be able to acknowledge their initial anger or frustration and respond in a calm and collected manner. However, a weak person lacking emotional control might react impulsively. They might honk their horn excessively, yell obscenities, or even attempt to retaliate by aggressively tailgating the other driver. This emotional outburst not only puts them and others at risk, but also escalates the situation unnecessarily. Now, let's analyze the consequences of this lack of emotional control. Firstly, it creates an atmosphere of negativity. The weak person becomes consumed by their anger, allowing it to dictate their behavior. This negativity not only affects their own mental well-being, but can also impact their relationships with others, both at home and in the workplace. Furthermore, when emotions take control, our ability to think rationally diminishes. In the example above, the weak person's immediate response is driven by anger rather than a logical consideration of the potential consequences. This impulsive behavior can have severe repercussions, such as legal trouble or further accidents. On the other hand, individuals with emotional control possess the ability to pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully to challenging situations. They understand that emotions are transient and that allowing them to dictate their actions can lead to regret and negative outcome. By practicing emotional control, they can navigate difficult circumstances with grace and maintain healthier relationships. Developing emotional control requires self-awareness and mindfulness. Recognizing our triggers and understanding how they impact our emotions is essential. We can then implement strategies to manage and regulate our emotional responses. These strategies may include deep breathing exercises, meditation, or seeking support from trusted individuals who can provide guidance and perspective. In summary, the inability to control emotions is a sign of weakness according to Buddha's teaching. It can lead to impulsive and irrational behavior, creating negativity in our lives and straining our relationships. By cultivating emotional control, we can respond to challenging situations with composure and wisdom. Practicing self-awareness and implementing strategies for emotional regulation will empower us to make better decisions, improve our well-being, and foster healthier connections with others. So, let's strive to develop emotional control and embrace the strength that comes with it. Stay strong and continue watching to explore the remaining signs of weak people. Sign number 3. Lack of empathy and compassion. One of the key signs of weakness, according to Buddha's teachings, is the lack of empathy and compassion. This refers to an individual's inability to understand and feel the emotions of others, as well as a lack of desire to alleviate their suffering. It is essential to explore this sign in detail, as it has profound implications for both personal and interpersonal relationships. Empathy is the ability to put oneself in another person's shoes, to understand their emotions, and to share in their emotions, and to share in their experiences. It allows us to connect with others on a deeper level, fostering understanding, support, and kindness. Compassion, on the other hand, goes beyond empathy by motivating us to take action and help alleviate the suffering of others. When someone lacks empathy and compassion, they often display behaviors that are self-centered and dismissive of others' emotions. They may be indifferent to the pain and struggles faced by those around them, focusing solely on their own needs and desires. This lack of understanding and concern for others can have detrimental effects on relationships and overall well-being. For instance, imagine a scenario where a colleague at work is going through a tough time, dealing with personal issues and feeling overwhelmed. A person lacking empathy and compassion may disregard their colleagues' struggles, showing no interest or support. They may even make insensitive comments or fail to offer any assistance. This behavior can lead to feelings of isolation and resentment, damaging the relationship between both individuals. In contrast, a person with a strong sense of empathy and compassion would approach the same situation differently. They would listen attentively to their colleagues' concerns, offer a supportive shoulder to lean on, and perhaps even provide practical help or resources. By demonstrating empathy and compassion, they create a safe and nurturing environment, fostering trust and strengthening the bond between them. Furthermore, the lack of empathy and compassion can also negatively impact an individual's own well-being. It can lead to a sense of disconnection from others, loneliness, and a lack of fulfillment in relationships. When we are unable to connect with others emotionally, we miss out on the opportunities for growth, learning, and mutual support that come from genuine human connection. To illustrate this point, let's consider a family dynamic. A parent who lacks empathy and compassion may struggle to understand their child's needs, emotions, and struggles. They may dismiss their child's fears or concerns, or even respond with anger or indifference. This can lead to a strained relationship and hinder the child's emotional development. The child may learn to suppress their emotions, feeling unheard and unvalued. In contrast, a parent who demonstrates empathy and compassion creates an environment where the child feels understood, supported, and loved. It is important to note that empathy and compassion are skills that can be developed and nurtured. By actively practicing empathy, such as actively listening, seeking to understand others' perspectives, and showing genuine care, we can strengthen our ability to connect with others on a deeper level. Engaging in acts of compassion, such as volunteering or helping those in need, also cultivates a sense of empathy and reinforces our capacity for kindness. Sign number 4. Resistance to change and growth. One of the signs of weakness, according to Buddha's teachings, is the resistance to change and growth. This resistance stems from fear, attachment, and a lack of understanding of the impermanence of life. When we resist change and growth, we limit our potential for personal development and hinder our ability to adapt to new circumstances. Imagine a person named John who's been working in the same job for several years. He's become comfortable and complacent in his role, avoiding any opportunities for growth or advancement. Despite feeling unfulfilled, he resists any changes that might disrupt his routine or require him to step out of his comfort zone. John's resistance to change prevents him from exploring new opportunities that could lead to personal and professional growth. He becomes stagnant, lacking the motivation and enthusiasm to pursue his passions or develop new skills. Over time, this resistance can lead to a sense of dissatisfaction and regret, as John realizes he has missed out on potential opportunities for advancement and self-discovery. The resistance to change and growth can also manifest in relationships. Consider a couple, Sarah and Mark, who have been together for a long time. They have settled into a predictable routine and resist any changes or challenges that might arise within their relationship. They avoid addressing underlying issues, refuse to communicate openly, and avoid seeking professional help when needed. As a result, their relationship becomes stagnant and lacks the nourishment it needs to thrive. Without embracing change and growth, they are unable to address their individual and collective needs, leading to frustration and dissatisfaction. By resisting change, they miss out on the opportunity to deepen their connection and create a more fulfilling and harmonious relationship. The impact of resistance to change and growth goes beyond personal development and relationships. In the modern world, change is constant and inevitable. Technological advancements, societal shifts, and global events require us to adapt and grow continually. By resisting change, we limit our ability to navigate these changes effectively and miss out on potential opportunities for success and happiness. To overcome this sign of weakness, it is essential to cultivate a mindset of openness, curiosity, and resilience. Embracing change and growth allows us to expand our horizons, learn new things, and discover our true potential. It helps us develop adaptability and agility, enabling us to face life's challenges with courage and grace. By consciously seeking out new experiences, pursuing personal goals, and being open to learning from others, we can overcome our resistance to change and cultivate a mindset of growth. This may involve stepping out of our comfort zones, taking risks, and challenging our limiting beliefs. Through this process, we discover that change is not something to be feared, but rather an opportunity for self-discovery and transformation. In conclusion, the resistance to change and growth is a sign of weakness that can hinder our personal development, relationships, and overall well-being. By recognizing this sign and actively working to overcome it, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, experiences, and growth. Embracing change allows us to evolve, adapt, and live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. So, let us stay strong, watch this video till the end, and gain the insights needed to break free from the shackles of resistance and embrace the transformative power of change. Sign 5. Need for constant validation and approval. One of the signs of weak people, as taught by Buddha, is the constant need for validation and approval from others. This is when individuals rely heavily on external sources to feel good about themselves, rather than cultivating self-confidence and self-worth from within. Let's delve deeper into this sign and explore its impact on our lives through a relatable example. Imagine a person named Alex who constantly seeks validation from their friends and colleagues. Alex feels the need to be praised and recognized for every little achievement or decision they make. They rely on others to validate their choices, appearance, and even their worth as a person. Their self-esteem is tied to how others perceive them and their actions. This need for validation can be detrimental to Alex's well-being in several ways. Firstly, it puts them in a vulnerable position where they are constantly seeking external approval. They become easily influenced by others' opinions and lose touch with their own values and desires. This lack of self-awareness can lead to making decisions that are not aligned with their true selves, simply to please others. Additionally, the need for constant validation can create a cycle of dependency. Alex becomes reliant on others' approval to feel good about themselves, which can be exhausting and unsustainable in the long run. They may experience anxiety and self-doubt, if they don't receive the validation they crave, leading to a roller coaster of emotions and insecurity. Furthermore, relying on external validation prevents personal growth and self-development. Alex may avoid taking risks or pursuing their passions if they fear not receiving enough validation or if they worry about others' disapproval. This fear of judgment hinders their ability to explore new opportunities and limits their potential. To break free from this sign of weakness, it is crucial for Alex to develop self-assurance and self-validation. They need to focus on building their own self-esteem rather than seeking it from others. This can be achieved through self-reflection, setting personal goals, and acknowledging their own achievements and strengths. Sign number 6. Inability to take responsibility for one's actions. One of the key teachings in Buddhism is the principle of personal responsibility. Taking responsibility for our actions is essential for personal growth and developing inner strength. However, weak individuals often struggle with this concept, deflecting blame onto others and avoiding accountability. Let's delve deeper into this sign and explore how it manifests in real-life situations. Imagine a scenario where two colleagues, John and Sarah, are working on an important project together. Sarah does her part diligently, ensuring that all tasks are completed on time and to the best of her abilities. On the other hand, John consistently falls short of his responsibilities. When the project fails to meet expectations, instead of acknowledging his shortcomings, John points fingers at Sarah and other team members, blaming them for the project's failure. This inability to take responsibility not only damages John's reputation, but also affects the overall dynamics of the team. Weak individuals like John refuse to accept their role in unfavorable outcomes, hindering their personal growth and the growth of those around them. By failing to own up to their mistakes, they miss out on valuable opportunities for learning and improvement. Taking responsibility means acknowledging our actions, choices, and their consequences. It involves reflecting on our own behavior and understanding how it contributes to various outcomes. When we take responsibility, we empower ourselves to make positive changes and rectify any mistakes we may have made. Let's consider another example. Emma is a mother who constantly loses her temper with her children. She frequently yells and criticizes them, unaware of the negative impact her behavior has on their emotional well-being. However, instead of recognizing her own role in their distress, Emma blames her children for being difficult or not listening. By refusing to take responsibility for her actions, Emma perpetuates a cycle of negative behavior and fails to create a nurturing and supportive environment for her children. In order to overcome this sign of weakness, one must first cultivate self-awareness. By examining our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we can identify areas where we may be avoiding responsibility. It requires honesty and humility to admit when we've made a mistake or behaved inappropriately.